We tend to think of Christmas as lovely and beautiful, sweet carols sung by boy sopranos in white gowns, or enticing food smells wafting from the kitchen, or lots of gifts under the Christmas tree. But I think the first Christmas was a lot messier than that. Firstly, it was all about the birth of a first child. Now, I remember the birth of my first child. As the birth got closer, I got more agitated. Alison's contractions were getting stronger and closer together, and I wanted to get Alison to the hospital, to the safety and security of our medical system, who would oversee the whole event. The last thing that I wanted was to have to deliver Alison myself in the car. I'd heard too many horror stories of couples mistiming the event and the baby arriving either in the car or close by, and the poor husband having to take charge. It might make a good, slightly amusing newspaper article to read, but there was no way I wanted to be put in that position. I wanted the clean, sterile, safe, boring hospital room with the proper personnel and equipment to make the birth as painless and efficient as possible. Now, Alison, on the other hand, didn't want to get to the hospital too early, only to be told that she was nowhere near giving birth and, well, sent home again. She didn't want that at all. Anyway, we did manage to come to a compromise and arrive safely at the hospital, and the end result was the birth of our first son, Andrew, without any major incidents. Now, that was very different from Mary and Joseph's experience. Just before giving birth, it wasn't a quick drive to the hospital. In fact, their journey from Nazareth to Bethlehem probably took just under a week. The distance was about 140 kilometres. Now, if they averaged a 4-kilometre-an-hour pace for roughly 8 hours a day, that would take them about 4 days. Very, very different from the 5-minute car ride that Alison and I enjoyed from our home to Burwood Hospital in Christchurch. Alison had a choice of pain relief: epidural, nitrous oxide, or laughing gas, or even something stronger. Alison chose laughing gas, and, well, she did have to be instructed at one point to go easy on how much she was inhaling. No such relief for Mary. No pain relief in those days. You just had to endure the pain of each contraction. And there was no such thing as a safe and sterile hospital room, just an area shared with animals. I wonder, did they move the animals out? I'm sure they cleaned the area as best they could, but still hardly sterile. Was there a midwife present? Well, we're not told, but if not, was it all up to Joseph to handle the birth? Just like the couple who didn't make it in time to the hospital and provided an amusing story for the paper? I must admit, I shudder at the thought. No, that first Christmas was not filled with the lovely smell of a Christmas tree with favourite carols playing in the background and lovely food smells emanating from the kitchen and stacks of presents waiting to be opened. The first Christmas was much more real and messy, but it did have some amazing elements like an angelic choir and presents of gold, and most importantly of all, the birth of the God-child Jesus, sent to redeem the world. So it was pretty spectacular for those who were invited to witness the event and who recognised its importance. I bet they didn't mind the mess. In fact, it probably messed with their minds. The birth of God as a little child, who would have thought? Merry Christmas to you.